We're making some big changes around here. It's time to mechanize this operation and kick it into high gear.
We've started using some tools that will help us build the tire wall much faster. We're excited to tell you all about them in this video.
Hi there, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Lorana. Welcome to Hole in the Ground.
This is the beginning of our journey to build our Earthship home
Which we affectionately call a hobbit hole.
in beautiful Idaho. So the soil up where we live is really interesting. It's pretty much sandy clay, and when it dries out, it turns into absolute moon dust that just blows everywhere.
We also realized that it doesn't compact very well when it's super dry because the sledgehammer just makes it poof out of the tire and go everywhere. We had a very kind friend advise us to mix some water into the dirt to improve compaction and also to make the tire wall stronger long term. If the dirt doesn't have enough moisture when it's initially pounded into the tire, then any moisture that gets into the tire after the fact can cause it to settle.
We experimented with a few ways of manually stirring water into the dirt. We would pour water into the tractor bucket and stir with shovels. Then when we had a bigger crew of people helping us, we just dumped the dirt out of the bucket and stirred water into it while it was in a big pile. Both of these methods were pretty effective, but not very efficient. They were very labor intensive and took a lot of people's energy that could have been directed elsewhere. Then we got our hands on a concrete mixer, and everything changed.
Okay, so we've only had the concrete mixer for about a week, but it makes a big difference. We had to do some experimenting to figure out exactly the right order and ratio of water to dirt, but once we got into a flow, it was really helpful to have this part of the process mechanized. We found that it's best to put in some dirt, and then a little bit of water, and then more dirt while it's stirring, to keep it from sticking to the sides and get it to be the right moisture level.
It really makes a big difference to have moist dirt for hammering into the tires. We got into a flow where one team of people was exclusively preparing dirt so that the people operating sledgehammers had a steady supply of dirt to work with.
Like I said, we had to experiment a bit to find the best moisture level for the dirt. We found that in the concrete mixer, it will ideally come out in little pellets like this, and the mixture will overall be like crumbly cookie dough.
Or deer poop.
We had some batches that were too muddy, which just sticks to the hammers and squishes around too much. We also had some sections of dirt that didn't form pellets at all, which meant it was still too dry to compact optimally.
Exciting milestone. We got the first wing all pounded, and you can see where we're at. Oop, right there. And we just have that sidewall and that wing to done, and then we'll be first to do, to done. And then we'll be done with the first course. Hooray!
Okay, I love this story I'm about to tell you. So one of our viewers commented on our video about starting our tire wall and shared a link to a different video where someone was using a pneumatic tool to pound dirt into a tire really quickly. We'd been brainstorming different ways to mechanize this part of the process, and we'd even tried using a hammer drill to compact the dirt. We just didn't know a tool this perfect existed. So we ordered one basically right away, but we had to figure out an air compressor solution, which took about a week. This pneumatic backfill tamper requires at least 30 cubic feet per minute, or CFM, to sustain constant use, so we needed a big towable air compressor.
We tracked one down and have been able to use it for about a day so far, but we are really excited about how this tool will help us make progress. I found that you still need to kind of use your hands to get the dirt into the sidewalls at the beginning, but it is great to use the tamper in the middle of the process. It gets into the sidewalls really well and helps save so much physical energy compared to a sledgehammer. Then at the end, it is best to go over it with the sledgehammer manually to keep dirt from going all over the place. As you can see, the tamper is messier than the sledgehammer, but I think the trade-off will be well worth it. Our biggest bottleneck once we had the tamper was the dirt supply. It was hard to prep dirt as quickly as we needed it for the tamper, but we tracked down a second concrete mixer, so I think we will really be in business now.
Probably my favorite thing about this project so far is the way it fosters community. People get really interested in learning more about this kind of building, and then they are so generous about spending their time and energy to help us build our home. Parents help while their kiddos play in giant dirt piles, and I just love seeing people connect to each other and to their environment. We love when people stop by to ask us questions about what in the world we are doing, and then they get really excited and want to help. It's a funny dichotomy with a building like this because in some ways we are trying to be really self-sustaining and energy independent, but what we really want is for this project to bring our community together. And it's already doing that, which makes us feel so grateful and loved and supported.
And if you want to be part of this community, stay tuned. We will be organizing an opportunity for you to come up and help us build this crazy, wonderful home of ours.